Hi, I'm Melissa Hall, CFMG, certifier for the National Cat Groomers, and this is a matted cat groom. I have a 3-year-old female here. Well, they rescued her, so between 3 and 4, they believe. Very matted. I've never groomed her before. She's never been professionally groomed either, that they know of. I have a green e-collar on her head from Smart Practice. You can purchase one at Ryan's Pet Supplies. And I'm using a small scissor-type nail trimmer. And I first begin by trimming her nails. Since I've never groomed her before, I prefer to use the green e-collar. And she's matted, which can add a certain level of stress to any groom, dog or cat. But I am trimming her nails, just in case she, accidentally decides to use them. I've never groomed her. Pet owner says she's never been groomed before, bathed or shaved or anything, and I'm going to do all those things. She was referred here by her dog groomer. Her dog groomer does not do felines and recommended that I groom her cat. I'm using Walls KM10, or actually KM cordless clipper, with Walls number 10 blade. I usually start at the tail and I begin with the grain. Whoops. And I'm going to leave a tail pom-pom on this cat. You can also modify this trim and leave the tail natural if it's not matted. But this pet owner wanted less hair. The cat's kind of chubby and dirty. Lots of dandruff, grease, very greasy on this tail. Then I go against the grain. So I have a nice crisp tail palm line. This is my rough in trim. I'm going to bathe, dry her, and then go over her. The Badass Cat Grooming Conference for 2022, I'm going to be doing a speed grooming seminar. This groom took me less than 40 minutes to complete, and you're going to watch most of it in its entirety. Look at that matting. One of the things about clipping matted coats, especially on a cat, but I think the same goes for dogs, we cannot clip through matting. We have to clip under. So in your head, focus clipping under the matting. Smooth skin. See how I hold the skin taut with my other hand? Cat grooming is a two-handed thing here. So we want to use our both hands, one to pull the skin tight, but we want to clip under that matting. This cat's young, chunky body. It's not like an old skinny shave, which is completely, maybe a little different technique we would be using because the skin is fragile, if even grooming at all. So I often recommend, if you don't have geriatric experience, to send those ones to the vet. But see how I clip, just clipping her, all this hair, clipping under that matting, making short work of a hard job. A lot of groomers pick at mats on cats, and we don't want to do that. We want to clip under that matting on smooth, tight skin. No clipping kitty wrinkles. And she's being very good for me. I have a speed grooming seminar, as I mentioned before. So if they're being really good for me, I try to keep them in the comfort position, which is just, sitting here or loafing, laying there. I will try to get off a lot of hair. Now, if they're being kind of stinky, I'll just get it off as fast as I possibly can and then do the tub and the bathing, because we still have to bathe and dry this cat. And cats have a turkey timer, so she may time out. I mean, I've never groomed her before, so I want to make sure that I'm first and foremost removing the matted coat. So people often ask me, how do you get to that underside? Well, on this cat, she's sitting up and letting me. So I pick up her arm and hold it nice and tight so I get a flat surface under there. And I'm clipping down, clipping it, all that matted hair off of there. And now I'm going to go around her little arm and I'm holding it underneath so I have a nice flat surface. I stop at the cowlick on the back of the leg. And I stop at the bend in the front of that front leg or front arm. It's a leg, but some of us call it a kitty arm. Cats have a lot of calyx on their chest, so you may find you have to go in different directions. But so you can get a good view here. See how I kind of grab her arm from around and I kind of pinched the skin around so I had a flat surface. I hold her arm up so I'm not, that armpit area is an area that a lot of groomers nick if you don't keep it nice, flat, and taut. But I'm going to get off a lot of this matted coat since she's being good for me and letting me. See, her body is still on my metal table, my cat grooming table. I'm just whisking off this hair. And I have a nice flat surface as I hold that arm up to make that surface under there flat. Get that tummy. I notice she does not have pronounced nipples or anything down there, so I don't have to worry about any of those. I'm pretty mindful as a cat groomer because I do so many. You hear salon noise in the background. I shot this on a busy Saturday. We have dogs in the other room. This room is enclosed, but they were just loaded with huskies and every dog breed you could think of. And then we were grooming, I believe, 10 cats this day. So you can hear my helper probably drying and bathing and doing other stuff in the back. So here I have her on her side since she's letting me. And I pull up her back leg. And here's a way to get the back leg this way. I'm going to see if she'll let me. So I just extend her leg out like it would go, shake it a little bit, like letting her know I'm coming for it. But it's got to be nice and straight. I'm going to go up the back of this leg and get all that matted hair that's matted off around her booty. Cats are never big fans of the legs. And I just stop a little bit above that ankle, leave a little cat boot. I do not shave cat legs and feet unless they are matted. It's very dangerous if you nick the legs and feet. They got a lot of tendons, nooks, crannies, whiskers, a lot of things going on down there. So unless they're matted on the feet, I don't shave the feet. And I charge a lot more for matted feet. This is a hot mess groom, is what we call this at my shop. And it is an expensive groom, so I want to make sure I do a good job. And you'll see me push her leg in a little bit just to get flat surfaces. I'm constantly manipulating the skin, and I never stop working. Because some people tell me they feel like cats need a break. If I stop working on her, it's only going to prolong it. Like most of the time, there's exceptions to every rule. Most of my cats want me to get them done fast. And she's doing great in there. You can see her little face in the cone. She may be trying to get away from me, but she's not using her claws or teeth or growling or hissing, panting, defecating or urinating. No signs of, serious stress. I'm going to lay her down. Like, lay down, girl. I'm going to get your little chicken wing here. And there she goes. She's going to hold on to the side of my table. Get that tail out of the way. And now I got a nice flat chunky leg surface. I'm going to go get that, shave that off there, all that matted fur. And it smells like, because she's kind of short and squatty, that she might pee on the backs of her legs. A lot of cats pee on the backs of their legs. So get all that off. All that matted, dirty, greasy kitty hair. And I hold her leg. And it's really quick. Cats are going to get annoyed. So we need to move. We need to, get it off and get it done. Make sure your blades are working. Some people tell me, oh, I can't get through matting. Get a good clipper. That's why I personally think Wall makes great clippers for cat hair and blades. They make some of the best. They've worked with National Cat Groomers Institute to help develop products that work for us. And she's letting me. She's like, okay, but she's not going to let me for very long. Like, I'm going to need to hurry. She's going to get annoyed with me. She's still a pussy cat, no matter. I would say she's compliant. That would be my temperament assessment of her, is compliant. So, and I want to keep her compliant. The goal of cat grooming is to keep stress to a minimum. So. And I work pretty fast. I mean, it took me, about a little less than, I don't know, about 10 minutes to remove all this hair. And it's matted, so it does take me a little bit longer to remove a matted coat. And I just kind of stop at that collar line, if you're wondering where to stop. And I'm just going to neaten up her collar line here. And she's actually kind of like pushing into me. She's got some matting around there, which helps me decide, where exactly that collar line's going to be. But typically I like it to rest where a collar would go. And see, I have her mouth. If she's going to open her mouth, I'm going to feel it to bite me. So I can ninja move my hand out the way if she's going to bite me. But she wasn't. She knew I was trying to shave her matted hair. And this is my kitty Ruffin. Ta-da! And we're going to give her a bath here. There you go. She's all roughed in, ready for her bath. Since I don't know if she's ever been bathed before, I left the green e-collar on her. It also helps block, her view from the water. I'm using a Chubb's bar to help break that grease. And I have a pressure release nozzle. So I'm going to keep it close to her body. And I want to get her really wet. She has significant dandruff, greasy. She rolls over. Bloop. But she actually does very well for her bath, for a first time cat bath. And in order for pretty much any product to work on these guys, you're going to need to get them really wet. I find a lot of groomers do not use enough water. I've trained enough of you groomers coming in, for pros, and I say you because most of you guys watching this are probably a professional cat groomer or hoping to be. And many of you, I'm like, add more water, girlfriend. Get that pussy cat wet. So I'm scrubbing the tail, and I kind of skip around. If you've groomed dogs, when I groom dogs, they used to say, focus on one area and then go to next. But on kitties, I kind of jump around, because they kind of got like ADD, and they get annoyed when I tend to focus on one area too long. So, but I do make sure I get everything done. She's only really got hair on her legs now. I mean, she does have, a little bit of hair on her body. It's real short now, so, but I want to get that body, all that dandruff and greasy and yuckiness off. And I'm not using any restraints or anything in my tub. She kind of just, walking around. It was funny because she would kind of go limp body and then think, maybe I'm going to run away. I sort of like it and sort of want to run away. Sometimes with my Chubb's bar, I'll use, on these really matted, disgusting cats, I'll use a little bit of Le Pooch's F&T on the feet. Helps break up some of that grease. It's, if you've never had a bath, I mean, this is years of stuff I'm washing off. Cats have skin and coat too, whether you believe that or not, they really do. And if you've ever had a Sphinx cat, you see the amount of grease and nastiness they produce. You can see it because they don't have a coat to absorb that grease and stuff. So, yeah. So now I'm going to begin to wash around her head. And this is where the pressure release really comes in handy because you can control the amount of water that you're going to add there. And I just do around the backs of the ears, the cheeks, and under the chin. She goes, I'm going to come out, Melissa. I'm like, nope. No, you're not. I get around her little head, scrub it really good. Because I don't want to, she's not trying to bite me or be aggressive. Some of my aggressives, I just don't do their head. It's not worth it. Because like I said, with the goal of cat grooming is to keep stress to a minimum. And she's being amazing. She really is awesome. I think you hear me say it in this as well. She's awesome. She's trying to push into me here. But I work quickly. I always do. And now I'm making sure I'm rinsing out all the product. You do not want to leave any product in your cats. No shampoo. I can't tell you how many times I've seen product in feet or whatever. And their feet are very thick. And of course, no one likes the head rinsed. But, you know, we got to do what we got to do. Really want to make sure I rinse out those feet. So now I'm going to use my microfiber towels. And these are just from we have a store here in the U.S. called Costco. And that's where they're from. Some people will find them in the automotive section. I get her dry. I did clean her eyes and ears. I just didn't film that for some reason. I don't know why. So I'm using a Caddyshack Vac drying containment system for cats. You can check out the National Cat Groomers Institute to learn more about that. It is a very modern piece of equipment. But I used the Caddyshack containment system to dry her. My dryer is a K9 Mini Fluffer variable speed. And all I really have to focus on is drying her legs and her tail and her head, because the body will just dry while I'm drying those areas because there's not, very much coat there. I've found groomers sitting there drying lion cut, bodies, and I'm like, just dry the feet and the tail because there's really nothing, to dry on the body. And while you're drying those areas, the body will just dry on its own. And I know cats often do not like the legs and feet touched, but she's being pretty good in my Caddyshack Vac, drying her. I did put a Happy hoodie and the green e-collar on her. The Happy hoodie will help dry the head, and the green e-collar will block some of the noise and wind, so will the Happy hoodie from hitting her in the face and help her relax and help me get her dry very fast. It took me less than 8-9 minutes to dry her. I mean, it was really fast. I'm in Arizona. Cats dry fast here. And you can get a better look here. Let me move my camera so you can see inside my Caddyshack Vac. She's got her head pushed in the corner. I call that assuming the position. Many of them like to push their face in a corner of the Caddyshack. And let me just dry their body. If she was really freaking out, I could remove the nozzle and dry her that way, but she's not, so I'm going to dry her that way. When I dry her head, I will remove that water peeler nozzle, but I really like it to get through that thick feet hair. And she was matted. It also helps blow out any stuck in hair, matted coat in the feet, because I'd rather sometimes demat feet than shave them because it makes the cats so mad. But in my Caddyshack Vac, she can walk around. There's no nooses or restraints, nothing putting, pressure on her neck. The clamp inside the Caddyshack Vac, if you have never used it, is a way to dry hands-free. You can clamp your dryer nozzle there and dry the cat. I usually position the cat underneath there and can dry, but I'm not, I don't need to. I'm not going to be drying her for that long. The arm guards I have on my arms are called Kevlar cut sleeves. You can use them for automotive work, all kinds of stuff, and I buy them on Amazon, and I buy large packs, usually like $30. You can get a pack of 6. But I get them on Amazon. I just got tired of my arms getting scratched. And now she's in the other corner of my dryer, and I work on getting her dry. I dry my cats all the way if they'll let me. I find you should really, if you can, dry the body completely. Pet owners tend to be very forgiving if you can't dry the head. You can also put them in a cage dryer to dry the head, but some of our cats, we can't put in a cage dryer because they turn into cage monsters. So now I'm going to just finish her, and there's not a lot left over to do. I'm using Wahl's Bravura, and I have it on a 10-blade setting. And now is the time that you may see me picking my line work on her. But still keeping the skin smooth and taut. I want to get any of that fuzziness off. Matted cats often clip down kind of weird. You can see where she had big pelt marks on her. It's kind of hard in my lighting on a dark cat, but yep, getting off. Look at all that hair there. I mean, a smooth haircut grows back better. It really does. It grows back so nice. And I really like using Wahl's Bravura for my finishing work on clean coats. I still have the green e-collar on her just to block her view. I can do my job without having to worry about kitty teeth. Even the nicest cats will nip. I mean, I think some groomers don't have a lot of cat ownership experience. All my cats bite. And they're sweet cats. But they have things they don't like or they get excited. I mean, they're kitties. So I'm just going to fix that tail line there. Get under her cat butt. I decided to do this groom completely on my cat table, but you can also groom them on your lap. Some of them really like that. Some of them hate it. It's just, cats have all kinds of different ways we can do them. Just want to make sure I got everything smooth and off. Check her cat butt again, make sure I've got everything. A lot of times they get annoyed when we're working back here on the sanitary area. Even nice kitties are like, hey. So I lift that armpit up, I go with the grain, and now I'm going to pinch it around to make my nice arm line. I hear these groomers say, I do non-aesthetically pleasing cat grooms. You can do an aesthetically pleasing cat groom so fast like this with straight, crisp lines. Just go right around. Whoop. I mean, I have now, because I've just done so many, it's so much easier this way. And I have the clientele that just keep coming back. So go, just cleaning up. Lots of calyx on the chest. I find if you can kind of see it, you kind of got to go in different directions. Look at your hair, the growth of the hair, where it's going. I stop at that little bend in the front of her leg. She's on my table. I'm not dangling her in the air. I want to get that underarm and show you guys. So I'm going to go and then against the grain where I set that line. Hold the arm around and just go around really quick to make my line against the grain to make that line. I've seen groomers trying to, I'm like, you'll never get the crispy line if you're not going against the grain. Let's get any of those. And they're prone to matting in the armpits, so we want to make sure we get the hair out of there. No cat likes the pet owner to comb out armpit tangles or mats. I usually tell my long hair cats like this, it will be about 4 to 6 months for the coat to grow back completely, maybe a year for the tail. See how her tail is shaped? So the tail can take up to a year. So now I'm going under her little leg, her little chicken wing. And you can see her little face. She's not hissing, panting, mad. She could turn around and claw me with those front claws. She's got all her nails. She could be kicking. I've done my share of aggressives. I was actually pleasantly surprised by her compliantness. And I'm stopped at that ankle joint, and I'm just going against there to clean all that up. Any little fuzzy wuzzies I see in her leggies. I'm just gently had her under my arm so I could see. Now I hold her up on my, she's got to see her front feet on my table. Never dangle cats in the air. I cannot stand to watch a groomer dangling cats in the air. Do not do that. Cats do not like that. And like I said, she has no pronounced nipples or anything. I can see everything. Great skin. So I'm going all the different directions of her little calyx on the sides. I'm getting the hair on the tummy so it's nice and smooth and sexy. And I'm going to just get this little tuft of hair, and then I'm going to be, once I'm done under this leg, you guys can see the line underneath. See how I go against it? Nice and crisp all the way around, especially if you're going for certification. You're going to want nice straight lines all the way around. And see, I'm just going to right to that ankle joint. Whoop, whoop. Get that little fuzzy wuzziness off. No fuzzies. Nice straight lines. Grows back so nice. I cannot tell you. I've shaved my own Persian, my own rag doll, and it looks really nice as it grows back. With straight lines. If your clients want longer looks and the cat is not matted, you could always do a guard comb trim. So here I'm going to lay her down. I just want to get this little bit of chunky fuzz I see. She's got like amazing skin. They also have a lot of calyx on the sides of their tummy. So, let's get out the combs. I'm going to comb out her little feet, check my line work, comb out her little legs. I often comb up to fluff. Cat hair has volume. They're not like a drop coat, ever. If you're a dog groomer, we want fluff and volume. Their backs of their feet are often matted where they step. And pet owners often, aren't going to comb out that area. And I'm using, an Utsumi cat comb, which if you've ever used it, it's a $50 cat comb, but it'll comb out little foot tangles in the back. And they don't like their feet combed out, but, it's going to be really quick here. She's almost done. You guys have watched this groom. I think it ends at about 30 minutes. Total time was less than 40 minutes in here. I mean, really, it was just for the condition. And I know groomers that take hours on matted cats. So I'm using Chris Christensen's regular comb just to get out the bulk of some of that hair. That's a Chris Christensen Butter Comb 001. And then I'm getting out some more with the cat carding comb from Chris Christensen. If you want to get those, you can get them at Ryan's Pet Supplies. Enter the code CATGROOMER when you spend $60 or more for free shipping. Let's do around her head and fix that collar line. All right, so I check my line to see where it is. And see, I can pull back and I can feel it where it wants to stop. Doop, on her, so it's great. It's going to leave a nice straight line. All I have to do is just take all those fuzzies off. So there's no skimming in cat grooming, especially if you're a CFMG. We're not skimming. We want nice straight lines here. Checking for she's got a couple little mats here. So I was like, see if I had to adjust that line. So I'm going to go underneath. If she's going to open her mouth, I'm going to feel it, and I can get my hand out of the way. But she's not. She's just like, oh, girl, I'm sick of you picking on me. So now I'm going to comb out her little kitty head here. Get a little scruff here. I'm like, girl, I got to see you. She's like, Melissa, get out of my world. So I'm just going to comb out her little roughy ruff. Little lioness mane. Take my little Utsumi cat comb and get out any more. It just seems to grab all those little extra hairs. Cats get matted on the tops of their heads and face too. I have had to remove cat hair matting. I'm checking line work too and matting. I'm always looking. It's just something I do. And she's done. Check her out, you guys. Way better than the matted, nasty pussycat we were. Smooth, sexy. She smells good. I used catatonic on her. That brown bottle is cologne you can pick up at National. There's her sploot. Thanks for watching.